Hello everyone, this is Donnie aka Elevated coming at you with another Dota 2 video today on behalf of Dota Alchemy. And I'm also happy to announce that we are now just starting to work with Secret Lab. They are helping to support the channel and we're super happy to be working with them. And as somebody who has suffered from lower back pain due to too much sitting at the computer, and to be honest, Secret Lab is basically the only chair that has really made a difference. So I reached out to them and I wanted to work with them because they actually helped me. If you're in the market for a chair, go ahead and check them out in the link down below. But let's go ahead and get into our video. I just really wanted to address these three main questions because I think there is a huge misconception about how to actually gain MMR. So basically, I just wanted to put this all out there so that the information is available. So the number one question is, what hero or heroes should I play or spam to gain MMR? And here's the deal. There's no magic bullet. That's essentially like asking what car should I drive if I want to be a race car driver, or what shoes should I wear if I want to be a better basketball player. It's asking the wrong question. If you were to put somebody like LeBron James in sandals on a basketball court, he's still LeBron James. He's still going to dominate. He's still going to score like 50 points, but he might be a little bit less comfortable and he might be a little bit less agile because sandals obviously are not what you should be playing basketball in. So that's the thing. When you're picking strong heroes, it's just a piece of the puzzle. There's so many other factors like skill, strategy, teamwork, and if all these things are equal between two teams, then the team with stronger picks is going to have an advantage. However, the picks are never really going to be the ultimate reason that a game is won or lost. You can pick the most overpowered hero in the game every single game if you want, probably Mars at the moment. But if you don't know how to itemize and play him versus the multitude of matchups, then it's not really going to do very much for you. Because you have to play every hero in a specific way to fit into a specific game against a specific 5 opposing heroes. And it doesn't really matter if Mars's damage numbers are higher than they should be or his mana cost is too low if you're just not itemizing him or playing him correctly to beat the heroes that he's playing against. The only way to learn these kind of things is to play the hero many, many times against many different opponents. And that brings us to the final point of this first question and the real answer, which is that every hero in the game has counters. If you pick a hero into its counter, is that hero really that strong, even if it's technically the strongest hero in the game? Not really. The thing about it is that if you're familiar with playing against counters, then the counter pick kind of gets nullified, just like the counter pick is trying to nullify your strong hero. So if you're able to comfortably play against a counter pick to your hero, then it's not really a counter pick. And while it might make your game more difficult in the long run because you're not able to just completely run over the game with your hero, at the very least, you're not just going to straight up lose because you know how to play and itemize to beat the counter pick. And then when you pick that hero and you're not countered, you are going to steamroll the game because it's a super easy game for you. So ultimately, the best hero to spam to gain MMR is not whatever the strongest hero in the game is. It's whatever hero you feel comfortable enough to play against every counter. If you can pick the hero every single game, even if you're countered and still feel like you have a chance to win, you're going to gain a lot of MMR. Question number 2 is, how am I supposed to climb or gain rank when my teammates are always so bad? And again, right here, we are asking the wrong question. A more accurate question would be, how can I have more impact in my games? If you ask that question, you're more likely to get a more accurate answer. The wording of the first question commits one of the most common and destructive fallacies that you can make in Dota 2, which is that you are shifting the blame of your misfortune to other people. You're giving them control over your destiny and the outcome of your Dota games. There's plenty of games that are more difficult to win or nearly impossible to win because your teammates are just simply trash, or the draft is trash, or people are just not cooperating, or somebody's feeding intentionally. But the percentage of these games compared to a reasonably winnable game is very, very small. And the difficult games are the ones where you still want to try your best. And then if you don't win, you just forget about it and you move on. Because here's the deal. The amount of players who win every single game of Dota they've ever played is literally zero. Nobody. Not one person wins every single game of Dota. So if you're expecting that from yourself, you're being just frankly unrealistic. The games where you try your best and lose are going to hurt. And that's a fact. And that's something that you're going to have to get over if you actually want to climb MMR. If that's your real goal, is to climb MMR, then you're going to have to accept that some of the games are going to suck. Anytime you feel discouraged because it feels like nothing you could have done would have won you the game, it's probably important to take a break. Because if you go into the next game with that feeling of discouragement, feeling like it's going to be impossible to win the game, it's probably going to be impossible to win the game. There's some sort of manifesting your destiny that happens in Dota, where if you believe you can win, you're going to look for those opportunities to win. And if you believe that you're just going to lose every single game, you're going to just kind of like aimlessly go through the motions, eventually lose the game, and then go into your next game with that same attitude. So the way to actually have more impact in games is relatively simple. Figure out what your hero's job is, and then do that. Whether it's diving backlines, keeping the waves pushed out, warding, sieging towers, being the insurance policy as the carry at the end, do that job. And then see if there are other jobs that are not being done. Maybe you're playing carry and you're not really supposed to be fighting with your team. And so you do that, and you get your farm, and you're getting towards being an insurance policy. But you notice that nobody is really itemizing or playing in a way that's going to allow you to win team fights because there's no lockdown. Maybe you need to pick up something like an early Abyssal Blade, a Rod of Atos, a Hex, something like that to do the job that should be done by other heroes but is not being done. Maybe you're a support and your carry and mid and offlane are all farming the jungle and nobody's pushing the waves. Maybe you should do that job, because if you don't push the waves, you can't hit buildings, you can't see the other team, you can't win the game. So do your job first, and then do other jobs if they're not being done as well. That's how you impact games. That's how somebody who is winning games consistently is going to go about climbing MMR. Question number 3 is, I want to climb MMR, but people always fight me for carry and mid. How can I gain rank if I'm not able to play these highly impactful roles? This line of thinking, again, reveals a lack of understanding about how a game of Dota works. Here's the deal. Same thing applies to roles. The perception that a carry and mid are the only roles that consistently climb rank is misguided. To be fair, a good carry player will generally have the final say in a game because that's their job. Their job as a carry player is to be the strongest hero in the late game. That being said, they're never going to get to the late game if they have bad supports, bad offlaners, bad mid players, bad tempo setters. So it's not all about the carry, because if you have a bad support who's losing you all 3 lanes by doing really terrible rotations, sitting in the lane, leeching experience, not warding, it doesn't matter if you're a good carry player, you're going to have to work way, way, way too hard to win that game. And at the same time, a bad carry player will also lose you the game. So it's kind of a catch-22, because if you pick support and you have a bad carry, you're going to have to win the game earlier, otherwise the late game is going to be difficult. But if you're a carry with a bad support, you're going to have a really, really hard time getting to the point where you can actually have impact in the game. It's all about just, as we said before, doing your job and then trying to help your team do the other jobs to potentially have a chance at winning every game of Dota. I'm mostly talking about carry and support here because they're 2 very opposite ends of the spectrum, but it goes the same way for offlane and mid. If an offlaner is not itemizing correctly, they're not buying a blink dagger at the right time, they're not itemizing to push when they need to be, or the mid laner is spending too much time farming and not utilizing their level advantage to push waves and push towers early on, that's just making the game harder for everybody involved. So again, it's really just about doing the job. There's too many moving parts to just say that one role is entirely responsible for winning or losing a game. Sometimes the game is easiest to win if you just buy all of the wards because nobody else is doing it. Buying wards and dewarding all game will allow greedy players who aren't buying those wards because they're busy farming or saving gold for items. It'll allow them to farm better and make more plays and take advantage of their greedy play. So sometimes that's your job and you just need to place a bunch of wards and just deward a bunch, and then eventually you're going to win the game automatically because you have 4 cores and the other team only has 2. Some games, the easiest way to win is to simply split push all game because nobody else is pushing waves and pressuring the map, and this allows players that are constantly playing scared and sitting in their jungle and taking only safe farm to just continue to do that and then eventually come online, and at the same time you'll end up getting a bunch of farm and levels because you're just split pushing all the time. Even if you feed a bunch of kills away, at least you're feeding away those kills on the other side of the map, and that means that the other team is constantly running away from your team instead of towards them. Some games, the easiest way to win is to simply show up to every single fight because you're a strong fighting hero and you can snowball off of kills. Way better than farming, and you know, sometimes that's your job. So basically, it's really not about the role, it's about the job that needs to be done in the game, and how you play that role is way more important than what role you're picking. So that's basically it, guys. I'm sure that we'll still get these kind of questions. I'm sure there will probably even be some of them in the comment section below, but I just want to give you the honest truth. There is no shortcut to higher MMR, so, you know, there's no magic bullet. Unless you want to pay for a booster or possibly just pick up a new gaming chair from Secret Lab. Those are the only 2 ways I know to instantly gain a bunch of MMR. Good luck, have fun in your games. Good luck on the climb, and we'll see you in the next video. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching the video. We genuinely appreciate your time and attention spent with us here on the YouTube channel.